Hello and welcome to another video in my Web API.NET Basics series. So as always, go ahead and follow me on my GitHub account, website, and email is there. Okay, so in the previous video, we were able to build a simple calculator endpoint. We have endpoint for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And we even added like a divide by zero, some basic checks for two scenarios which might give some error, and we took care of that as well. So what I'm trying to do now is we have the endpoint, we know it works on Swagger, so we got that working, and now we want to build a very simple UI to use it in a website. And that's what you do. You build a backend and then you build a front end. That's just how it goes. I am, of course, by now you should know I'm not a UI person. I'm terrible at it. Okay, despite spending hours and hours and hours for so many years, still I'm just terrible at building UI. But I just use Razor. It's simple enough for me. So let's go ahead and try to do that. So I'll be a little more error prone and slower. So you'll just have to bear with me on that. So let's go ahead and close this one, right? I've been forgetting to commit all the code I'm writing. So let's go ahead and so the next project is going to be simple calculator Razor MVC web app. Yeah, the word project is not right. Okay, so this one I want to go ahead and put that here. New project, ASP.NET Core web app. Yes, sir. Next. Okay, and I want to put this in my desktop. Web API.NET Basics. Here we go. Next create. Cool. Build, rebuild, and we have the Razor web app working just fine. Cool. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so I've been forgetting to commit, so let's go ahead and just commit. Commit as frequently as you can. I feel like I've added 2 projects. It's a good idea to commit. Okay, there you go. Git add dot git status. Okay, looks good. Git commit. Added 2 projects for simple calculator. Added a console project for simple calculator. Added a web API for simple calculator. I like to take the time to write these commit messages, but if you want to keep it short, totally up to you. Personal style of development. Everybody has their own way of doing things. Yeah, that is pushed. Okay, all right. Now I have this one. So once again, I'm going to use my comic book project as an example. So here, I'll go here. Yeah, coupon controller. That's what I'm looking for. And I want the one where you take an input. So I have the view. So when we're working with Razor MVC, you have to show the view, which shows the input, and then you have the post method, which collects the form data. And depending on what happens, you kind of redirect to another view. So it's a 3-step process, correct? So let's start with the view. So here, I promised I won't copy paste everything. So okay, I'm gonna type it out. Okay, I'm gonna go to my home controller, and here what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a new controller. I'm gonna say MVC controller empty, and I'll call this one the calculator controller, right? Okay, there we go. I promised I will not copy paste too much, so I'm going to try to do everything on my own. So I got the calculator controller, and I want to create the view folder for this. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to say add, and then I'm going to say view, and then I'm going to say Razor view empty. Oh, I need a folder first, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to say add folder. I'll call this calculator. Now the spelling is very important. It has to match with your controller title. So don't type it, copy paste that one. And here I want to go ahead, and what I want to do is I want to say, I can just use index. It should be just fine. I can just use index, or I can, like I'm doing this here, I can create something called, where is that? Yeah, I can either use index, or I can use something like add or something like that. So I think I'm going to just stick with index, right? I think that's okay. So let's go ahead and just keep that index as it is. And I am going to go ahead and create a, now you can see here, I have to do HTTP post for this. So let's go ahead and keep that here on my second monitor. And then I'm going to say, I don't know if we should use post with index. So maybe that's not a very good idea. Yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna create a view called calculate. Let's not mess around with the index right now. I don't want to experiment too much. Okay, public action result. Okay, and here I'm going to say return view, and I'm call this one calculate. Calculator. That's what we are doing. Calculator. I hope I can use, I don't know if I can reuse the name calculator, so I'm just going to say calculate. Yeah, much better. Let's, no ambiguity, please. Let's not do that. And then here I'm going to go to my folder. I'm going to say add view, razor MVT empty view, and I'm going to call this one calculate.cshtml. So here we go. Now we have this, and then here I'm just going to say, just to make sure it's working fine, here, welcome to the calculator. Welcome to the simple calculator. Boom. Okay, all right, so we got this. Now I want to add this to my shared. I want to add a link to it, so I'll go to my layout file. I'll go to the list thing, just copy paste this here, and here I want to say, again, I don't want to type this. I don't want to make any silly typing mistakes. So controller is calculator, and the action is called calculate. So let's be very careful about these things. Yes, there we go. That's a link for navigation. Looks good. And I have that. Home controller is fine. Calculator is fine. So that's so far so good. Let's just make sure the view works. So we come here and then we click on run. And web app is working. We have a link called calculate here. So now I want to make sure I click on calculate, and there you go. Welcome to the simple calculator. That seems to work just fine. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so now what I want to do is I will go ahead and build the form, right? We need a form for that. That's where we are here. So here I really need to take help from my example code, because I am terrible at building UI. So, but first we need the DTO. So I'm gonna go here. I have model here, but I'm gonna create folder called DTO anyway. So add new folder DTO. Boom. Now we need the same DTO that we used in our other project. And so I'm gonna come back to the where is that? Let's open Visual Studio, right? And I want to open my API. I mean, I have to run this API anyway, so might as well keep it open. Cool, there we go. And here I have the DTO, which is the number input DTO. And I also need the response DTO as well. So we're going to go ahead and recreate this in our project. So I'll come back here. I'll add a DTO. Okay. Now this one, I just typed it, so I hope it's okay if I copy paste it. I hope I can copy paste my own code, right? I hope that's all right. And response DTO, same thing. Come back here, right click and add and class, and you go ahead and do the response DTO. And let's go ahead and copy that as well, because I just typed it like in the previous video. Good. So we have the DTOs. Now we have the input DTOs. So far so good. Now we want to collect this in a form. Now this is where I really need my help. And the first thing is I need the model. So I'm going to say at model. Right. And the model I need is number input DTO. Now sometimes this doesn't get picked up automatically, but usually if I do it, yeah, there you go. You get like a tiny symbol. This is kind of important. Watch out for that quick actions thing, and then you make sure you do this. So I'm gonna slow down my video here. I'm really going to slow down. Okay, I think I should really take a photo of that. Let me see if I can take a photo of that here. Let me see, sniping tool. Okay, I don't know if it'll stay there. Oh, yeah, there you go. So it comes like this, and you want to make sure you do that. Oh, it goes away, but still I think I can take a photo here. Yeah. This is very, very important, guys. So you have to make sure. Okay, I'm gonna slow down the video here. This has created a lot of problems for me. I don't know if other people face the same issue or it is just me because I'm not good at UI, but a lot of times I think the model is linked in the front end page, but sometimes it is not, and it gives a lot of errors and stuff like that. So make sure you get this tiny logo here, and you want to go ahead and click on that, which is what I'm going to do right now, and then use the correct DTO location, right? Just map it properly. Very important. Otherwise, a lot of things will not work. Not just forms, display, so many things go wrong, man. It is crazy. Okay, so let's build a form here. Now, the form is simple. So I have the form tag. Okay, and this is where I really need to look at my example code because I am terrible at UI. That's always a crazy thing. I want to add the validation stuff here, so that part is okay. And now building the form, what I want to do is I need to set an ASP action. So I'm going to say ASP action is equal to, what is it called? Calculate, right? So it's going to be calculate. Okay, so I haven't written that yet, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to say I'm going to copy paste this. It's my own code, so let's copy paste that. And I want to say HTTP post. And what am I collecting though? I am collecting the number input DTO. So this is again a key component of this. So number input DTO. Now that's what I'm really looking for. That is really what I am looking for. And normally what you do is once you collect whatever it is that you're doing correct, you will go ahead and do like redirect and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is let me just make sure I have that here. Hold on. Yeah, so usually you have to do a redirect. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so I am going to do something like this. So I'm going to say, after you take this, I want to go ahead and, oh, you know what? Let me just type that out. So what I'm going to do is once I get the information, I want to redirect and show the output. So I have to do like a redirect. So I'm going to say return redirect to action. And here I'm going to say calculate result. I don't have that yet, so I'm going to create that in a second. So there you go. So what we do is once we are done with the calculation, I will go ahead and redirect to a specific action. So I am going to say redirect to action, and I have to say name of, and then there you go. Not just double quote, doesn't work that way. So remove the double quotes here, and there you go. So I must have a view called calculate result. I don't have that yet. I think that's what this error is. So I can see if I can just say calculate right. Okay, so I'm going to come here and I'm going to say there you go. And I want to change this one into this, right? And we know every time you create a view in the controller, you have to create a view in the razor pages section as well. So I'm going to go here. I hope my face is not blocking the yeah, I don't think it's blocking. Okay, so here I'm going to say add and then view, and then here I want to use the exact same spelling, and that's going to be calculate result. I think I copied it. There you go. So spelling is very important in the view thing. That's how the mapping works. And here for now, I'm just going to show a message. Here is the calculation result. We will actually show the result in a bit. We'll worry about that later. So let's look at the flow here. So I come to this. I have the form. This is the view which shows the form. The form, when you click submit, you get the collected information and come here and you do whatever you're supposed to do, and then you redirect to the result page. So it's a three-way flow. It's a three-page flow that is happening here. So let's get back to our code. So I have this form here, calculate.html, and that is going to form action to the calculate. So that seems okay. Now what I want now is to finish building the form. So the form should always have a button. Okay, now this part I'll go here at the end. I'm going to say input, and here I'm going to say input, and then I want to say type will be submit. Again, I'm very terrible at the UI building, so I'm just going to take more help from my notes here. And value is equal to create. The value I believe is, oh, that's the, yeah, so value is whatever word comes on the button. So I'm going to call this calculate. Okay, so right now we don't have a way to specify whether we are doing addition or subtraction and stuff like that. We'll worry about that in a bit. I just realized that like there's no way to do that part. We'll see about that in a bit, right? So now I want to say let's just start with add then. So let me just make this add, right? So let's call this add. And what else I want to do here? I want to add some CSS classes. So I'm going to say class is equal to, the standard bootstrap btn dot su success, and then form control. Okay, so I have the basic form up and running. Now what I want is I have two input boxes. So I need a label for that. So let's go ahead and do that. So here I'm going to say I need a title. I already have the calculator. So here I'm going to say, let's see, I need a label. Ooh, this is complex. Yeah, this is one of the reasons I don't like working on front end. So many things you have to do. Okay, so let's see. Right. Okay, and right. So I have to put the whole thing in a div. Okay, there you go. So that seems to be fine. And the div, we're going to put the class is equal to row, right? And the next thing what I want is for every input I need a label, and then I need like input box. So let's start with the label. Once we have one label and input group, we can just copy paste it. So once again we have another div. This is going to be for the label, and another div, this is going to be for the input. So let's do that. Okay, so the label thing, we are going to say class is equal to col2. I think that seems to work fine. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want a label for whatever it is that I'm trying to do, and here I'm going to say this is for enter the first number, right? And then I want to add some CSS classes, bootstrap classes, to make it look a little bit pretty. So I'm going to class this control dash label, and then pt-2. That's good. Control/label. Okay, and we want to add some style for it. So style is equal to, I want to say font size 20 pixel. Okay, that's good. Seems to be fine. Okay, that takes care of the label. Let's take care of the input now. So again, I want to add a div classes as well. Hold on. So the top we have class col2. So let's make this col10. I think 12 is the number for bootstrap. And let's go ahead and say pb-3. Okay, so far so good. And here we want the input tag. So we're going to say input. And this is a single tag, right? So you want to say input, and then the input asp dash for input for, what are we typing for? Input for coupon code. So the model is, now this is where it becomes important. So whatever model you're using, so if you look at this, I have the model and I go to the coupon DTO, you have something called coupon code. So you want to make sure the spelling matches what you have. So here you have the coupon create, so coupon code, that the exact spelling must be used here as well. So that's what I'm going to do too. So I have my DTO here, which is number input DTO, and this is the first number. So I'll take that. I don't want to make any mistakes, so I will copy that, and I will say ASP for input for first number. So that is again something I've noticed is very, very important. Otherwise it will not work. So then I want to add some bootstrap classes. So I'm going to say form dash control. Okay, that is the input thing, and we want to do some basic input validation, right? So you want to say, you want to use a span for that, and here I'm going to say ASP validation for, again, we are validating this specific property. Now remember, this property is part of this DTO, and we are using that DTO. So this gets matched on to this. Okay, so now we want to say, is there anything else I need to add? Input validation. Oh, we got to add some bootstrap classes for that. And here we want to say text.danger. And that's all there is to it. Okay, so that's one level. So now we have got that label and input working. Now, as you can see, front-end development is very time consuming. Probably that's one reason why I don't enjoy doing it, or no matter how much I try, I can't seem to become good at it. So it is what it is. But at least I can, with some great difficulty, I can build this much. So let's keep going. So second number, same thing. Input BTO, second number. Go here, just update this. Okay, all right. I hope this works. I'm never confident when I'm doing UI. It's so bizarre. But it is what it is. So you can't help it. And what do I want to do here? And I want to, okay, I think that's all there is to it. Okay, calculate, add. Oh, I know, we'll see. It's always scary for me when I'm working on front end. I never know if something works. Okay, let's go. We might get some errors. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Oh, we need the developer tools. Make sure everything looks okay. Right, no errors. Okay, thank God. I guess I got lucky. Okay, so here I want to see if I want to put some breakpoint. I want to put a breakpoint in my controller. So this is where the view is generated, and this is where the data is being processed, and this is the final view. So let's see. Let's go back to home. Yeah, there you go. That's the first view. Continue. Good. And then I'm going to put some numbers, 10 and 20. Add. Good. Okay. Oh, thank God it's coming. I am so relieved. I really am relieved. Okay. And then I'm going to say continue. That's great. And I'm going to just continue. And there it is. Here's the calculation. So we don't have the result yet. So that is something we are going to do in the this video is already going for 20 minutes, so I need to take a break here. So we'll continue in the next video.